You know what we said in the final? So this is season 1, episode 10, the finale of the season, and we said we're going to bring some big shit to this season. So first of all, we had a 45-minute of our boys that played at Harborside. Then we had a 45 minutes
Carl, my club.
Daddy D, the crew.
That's it.
And this is
that private?
Yeah, it is private.
Yeah.
And we had this surprise that I don't know if Daddy D kept it. He did keep it to himself and didn't tell us anything. But
I had to because you can't always rely on him.
Correct. We have.
I mean, if something was important, I could have, but I'm like, he's like, yeah, maybe I'll stop by. Don't tell Marty G. I'm like,
He didn't, and he kept it a surprise, and it was a great surprise. So we have the man who set up and organized and did a phenomenal fucking job of doing the Bandon Dune trip with a great bunch of dudes. Mr. Carl is here. And his cousin, Ryan, is here too, who is fucking, love this guy. He's fucking had a great time already.
I was kind of hoping Ryan just showed up.
Yeah, and Carl beat it. But I'll tell you this is a great impromptu. Like, this isn't planned. This is just, these guys showed up from D. Love it. You guys went to college together, which is fucking awesome. This is your cousin. So welcome. Thanks for coming, dude. Like,
I think the first thing I might ask is, how was Gibson's Italian?
Oh, he was at Gibson's Italian.
Right before they got here.
Yeah, not good. It's not good.
You know what I turned down for this podcast is fucking Gibson Italian. I know Carl buys.
Yeah. Well,
and I turned that down. I didn't need it, I guess.
I think we showed up thinking we had to sit outside, and luckily we sat inside.
Whoa.
It wasn't
calling
bad.
them out right
We had a
now.
good time, right?
It was very nice, very nice. Windows open.
Can I ask what you guys ordered?
We had
We had the prosciutto and the buffalo, right?
And a couple
we
fillets.
No, what about the octopus?
that was good too. That's right.
Yeah, no Shiba.
No shishito peppers.
So let's
No.
go into this. So Carl, I met through Darren. What a legend!
I know,
Like
right?
Me or Darren?
No, both you guys. I'm just saying, like, so the Bandon trip, like Carl, God bless his soul. Maybe you had your assistant do it, or you actually did it. But the whole time
he did it.
the whole time that you put into that was amazing. The trip could not have been smoother. The flights, the buses, the food, the dinners, the rounds, everything was absolutely fucking phenomenal. My thing is, how much time did you actually spend doing that for the boys?
Oh, this is so good.
No, it's
Why are you smiling, Carl?
Yeah.
So if you had 12 guys, I would say an hour a guy. So 12 hours
hours.
of time.
Over a year.
Over a year. Plus some help from Carrie in the office, Ryan.
8 seconds a guy.
yeah.
Exactly.
No, seriously, it was a good amount of work, but we found great guys that
Sure.
all came together, and it was fantastic.
And go ahead.
Better than expected.
And what I will say is, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but when you showed up and we all walked in that first clubhouse to play our first round,
Okay.
the guy's like, Carl, it's like, hey man, thanks for it. Like, that was your guy for months of communication.
Yes.
That
Same
was the guy that ran it. He's like, I knew you guys were coming, looking forward to it. And he was the guy that took care of everything that was going on.
And I called him before and I said, listen, we have 12 guys. We want to do
All losers.
Yes. Oh, total dead.
2 losers, 10
Total
good
dead
guys.
And I said, we want to do skins game. We want to gamble. We want to do all of it. And they said, we will take care of all of it. Everything. The best way I can put it is everything they said was yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no hiccup
Yeah.
in the whole thing.
That was
Everything.
a
The
great
rooms
point.
were there, the trolleys or the buses were there, the rounds were there. Like, there was nothing like, hey, this could have been a little bit better.
Yep.
I mean,
exist.
they had our scorecards with handicaps in every situation going for every day.
And
They
that's all from Carl.
Well,
How long did this
perceive this from Carl?
Yes.
So we're
Thank
giving
you,
him all the
Ryan.
credit.
Thank you for giving me the
How
credit.
long has this trip been planned for?
It was over a year.
yeah.
Over a year.
Which also, aren't you glad you did that? Because now I heard it's over a year to get a book.
It's over a year. And what I was concerned with, Ryan, was telling these guys who's in, and then guys saying, 2 months before, I'm canceling. And I'm like, well, we just planned this, and no one canceled. It worked out perfect.
And it's like, since I put the down payment, I was worried about it. Yeah.
You were very concerned. You were calling daily.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Cook. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I will say that the amount of, I think 12 is a great number. Like 8's a good number, 12's a great number. I think anything maybe past that might be too much, and maybe I'm just trying to be a little dramatic. But the way we had our villas or our whatever they call it, like 3 of them together, we all congregated in the middle one. Everybody's doing this, but like the fact that you fuckers shipped your own fucking wine is such a
That was
baller
great.
move. It's such a baller move that you're not talking like, we're not talking they're shipping
And that
Justin or Jordan bullshit wine. We're talking legit fucking wine.
And that was only due to COVID, right? Because we knew that they weren't serving certain amounts, and we had to ship. They said that's cool. And that's what you
No,
guys-
I just called and asked and said, "Hey,
Oh.
can we ship wine?" They said yes. They never said no.
That's the other part about where they're awesome. There is, I remember like we didn't know the rules with COVID and everything, wearing masks and stuff. And I'm like, "Can we get like a bottle of Jack?" And Carl's like, "Probably." Can we get a? Next thing you know, it's like next to me. I'm like, oh. I guess we can.
Well, let's. No, Carl. These guys are red wine,
Red wine, yeah.
2014, like Cabs or whatever. I don't know wine. But let me ask you this question. So my caddy was phenomenal, Amos, and I know we were with you a couple times. How was your caddy?
Oh,
when is out?
Made the trip.
Was it a debut? They made his own like.
Tell that story how you met him.
Oh, so I met him. I knew his brother, who's a caddy down in Southwest Florida, and I said, "I'm going to Bandon for a trip," and he goes, "You got to hook up with my brother."
You and I were playing out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, you're going there? Like, call this guy."
And it worked out. He got us 4 or 5 other caddies, and they were the best.
Yeah,
I think Amos, or who was the other guy? Was his brother or his brother-in-law, right?
I don't remember.
Somebody was
There
related
was
to
somebody
somebody.
related to him. Yeah, yeah.
All I know is my caddy's name was Crazy.
That was bad.
I gotta hear this one.
Oh my God, he was drunk.
Drunk Darren drunk?
No,
I mean,
yeah.
that's ridiculous. Let's just say that we got along and I didn't shoot that well.
But like after the round, I think he was our caddy the first day we played Bandon Trails, and he's like, "Hey guys, here's my card. Go buy my head covers."
Yes.
And we're like, "Bro, like, go on." Like, beat it there. And then he was like, he had that tiger mask on
Oh, and
the whole time.
right, the best. We're sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, did you get my card?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And he passes all his cards out for his head covers, and then he goes, "Carl, you dropped my card." And I go, "I know, I know."
My bad.
Yeah.
I actually thought about like buying one just to support it, right? And I'm like, I flew across the country to play this course. I'm going to get a Bandon Dunes one, you know, like whatever. But good kid, smart. He was fun. He
You
was,
gotta love his entrepreneurial spirit, though.
yeah,
Speaking
take
of
advantage
which,
of that.
In our office, we have a nice poster,
Oh.
4-screen little thing
made by
right
Darren?
in front of my office.
Where did
I'm-
you get that?
Yeah, where did that come from?
You're welcome.
Thank you, Darren. One of my favorite. Let's switch gears for a moment. Let's talk about gambling.
Oh gosh.
And we had a
Giddy
great
up.
time gambling. Everybody threw in a bunch of money, and it was all, everyone was fair.
Gambling at golf or at a casino? We're talking
Golf.
Golf.
Everybody threw in money. Everybody had handicaps, and it was a great event. And then I think Marty was the last day at Pacific Dunes. We were paired together, or we were playing
Yeah,
against
and
each
you
other.
whooped me plus mine, let's not talk about it.
Oh, that's why you
Actually, can we talk about that?
Yeah, well, no, we'll talk about what happened on the hardest handicap hole, but tell your story, Kyle.
So before we go to the hardest handicap hole, this is the last hole, and we went back and forth, and I think I closed them out after 10 holes.
After 2.
No, just continue.
It was tree.
This is my podcast, or it's our podcast.
Anyways,
round down.
Anyways,
Let's edit it out.
the match is over. We get to 18, and I put 2 out of bounds off the tee.
oh, yeah,
The hole is over. So I put one in or I just put my ball in my pocket. I'm like, I'm done on the hole. And we get down to the fairway. He stripes a drive down the middle of the fairway, and he says, "Well, we got to play for something." I'm like, "All right, I don't know, $100 closest to the hole."
we're like 150 out. I remember this.
We're exactly
Yeah.
150 out, and I know what club that is in my bag.
Supposedly I did
It's
too.
an 8-iron. And he goes, we said closest to the hole, $100, and I'm like, "Oh man, he's sunk." And did you hit first or did I?
No, you hit first. And
I
you-
hit first, and the group in
Scumbag.
front of us, confirmed, is with us. The other group is in front of us, and they're standing on the box. And I hit mine, fades to the right, and goes, I don't know, 10 feet.
You got to understand though that my caddy. So if the hole is here,
Is this Amos?
Amos, my caddy told me, he goes, hit it here. Like I'm talking 30 feet left. I'm like, dude, no. He's like, trust me. And Carl stripes it right where he said, and it just trickles down right to the hole. And I was like, and I went second, and it wasn't even a challenge. I duffed it. It was terrible. But like,
So you make the
Ball in the
green.
pocket.
yeah. And then he won $100.
And
So it's
how
terrible.
tall was Amos?
Oh, it's like 6'5".
So
Stud.
Amos is 6'5".
Stud.
Amos sounds like 4'3".
After I putt it, I make it. He goes, "Give me a high five," and he puts his hand up in the air, knowing that I'm too short to give him a high five. And I'm like, "You fucker!"
Yeah, no, you hit it exactly where Amos told
Yeah.
us to hit it, and I was like, listen, if I'm gonna lose to a shot, I'd rather lose to that
Dude,
than my shot.
that's Carl's game right there.
It
You
was.
give a
Like
fucking,
he was out in 18,
that's
already
right.
won the match. He was like checked out mentally because he smoked me. And then last I was like, hey, you want to bet on this? I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Carl, let's go.
I don't think he's got a mental game too because he's like, oh, you got to make that, and he knows I'm a shitty putter. He's like, I'm like, that's like 2 inches.
Well,
Yeah.
so this is so in our match, I think it was like hole 6 or 7 on the front 9, hardest handicap hole. We both hit decent drives and we both hit it within, on the green. Carl's a little behind me, and then he hits his putt like 15-footer. I hit mine. He's like talking shit, and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be great when I think your caddy might have been talking shit." And then I hit mine like an 8-footer. It's still a challenging putt, and so we pushed the hole. Well,
with birdies.
on
number 1 handicap.
Lo and behold, to us, we're like, hey, it's a skin. We both just won the skin because
$150.
Guess what? We both lost the fucking skin because we pushed the hole.
If you
as
push the
birdies
hole,
on the
you
hardest
lose,
hole, it
and
goes to
then
the
somebody
next
else
guy.
wins.
So us with birdies on the hardest hole there, which were great 3 shots, ended up losing the fucking hole, and I think it went to Angelo. He won the fucking thing at it was probably like the 4th hardest hole that he ended up winning on.
I would say the best part of the trip was after we got there the first night after we were done playing golf, and we played trail first
We did, yeah.
with Bandon Trail, and we knew that we couldn't get into any of the restaurants to have dinner because it was too late. So we said, let's order food back to the rooms.
yeah.
So we had 12 guys ordering food,
And you're staying on the property.
Oh yeah.
but we all have we all have our own rooms, but then we
Okay.
have a little area to hang out in.
Okay.
And I sent a text out to everyone, hey, come to our room, order your food, and hang out in our room. And it was the 3 of us, and who was number 4? Tony Appa. So the 4 of us sharing a room, and somebody else texts, no, come to our room. Well, thank God.
Yeah.
Because there was 3 rooms together, and that became the
party room
the
for
dorm
the-
room,
Yeah.
the fraternity house. We sat in there and just destroyed the room, drinking and eating, and then we'd go back to our room and go to sleep.
And these,
It was a fucking disaster.
These are some of the older guys like, I want to get to bed early. Like, okay.
And
So there was a night. It was the second night or third night, and Darren. And I
Thanks
were
for
just-
coming, guys.
We're just super.
anyway,
Darren and I are super hammered. We're like FaceTiming people. Him and I are sitting there doing nothing at the table. There's just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And old Mr. Ivanelli comes out, shirtless.
Wait, that's last night. That was the last
was the
night.
last
I
night.
was in bed.
Oh, yeah. You were
'Cause
playing golf in the morning.
You weren't playing the next night, and I had a 7 a.m. tea time.
We'll tell the story because it's great because a couple of guys decided to play a 6th round on the next day on Sunday, and Darren and I were like, well, we're just gonna get drunk and do whatever. So him and I are like a couple of school kids, the 2 of us just laughing, giggling it up, and Carl comes out to scare the shit out. Shirt off, looking great by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chain on, all this shit.
Carl who? Carl who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, last name. Yeah, CEO.
Must be a different guy.
Comes over and comes out and he's like, "Ah," does this roar to us, and we're just like, oh, cool, Carl. But the best part about Carl and that thing, he had to get up early in golf. He was smiling the whole time he did. He wasn't mad. He wasn't like, fuck you guys. He was actually laughing the whole
He
time.
grabbed my
did it.
phone, acting like he was going to throw shut the fuck up, and laughing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Smiling the entire time.
That was a good one.
One of my favorite stories is when you guys were in Manistee. What was that?
Arcadia.
Arcadia. And you guys roomed together, right?
Yeah.
At the casino.
Which time?
And you guys stayed in a room, and you woke up, and Darren's butt ass naked in front of the room. Or in
No,
the window,
there was a window overlooking the entire hotel.
The morning, yeah.
No, that night. Remember, we came back and you were standing. There was people walking by, and you have no clothes on. I'm like, what the fuck? It was hilarious.
Fists on hips.
Me and Carl just gone to bed. I just lost money gambling. What's the name of the casino?
Little River.
Little River.
Yeah,
River,
great casino.
River.
So
Oh, I was going to ask that. The difference between you planning that trip to Arcadia every year that you've done for years compared to Bandon, was there much difference other than some flights, right?
a lot harder.
Oh, really?
Arcadia was harder or Bandon?
Bandon was harder.
Bandon was way harder.
Oh, okay.
And you guys went with the same guys, same group of guys.
Same guys,
mostly.
but
There
I
were a
wasn't
couple
invited, Ryan.
You weren't invited.
No,
Either was
not me.
Either was I.
to which one?
We'll do our little own.
Because you weren't invited to either.
We'll go play Flag Creek.
I just was quick on email response. To, hey, first 12 that are in. I'm like, I'm in. You can't get rid of me now.
First off, we decide who comes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Get off our fucking podcast, Carl. But hey, it was an amazing time.
That's awesome.
The what?
Marty's like, get off my podcast.
Well, I mean,
Our podcast.
I actually have a hard time understanding who Marty is because your real name is.
Darren 2.0.
Yeah. Did you hear about this?
Darren 2.0.
So a lot
Is
of the
that
guys,
still recording, bro?
Take about 10 minutes.
Okay.
the guys on the golf trip, majority of them knew Darren, had never met Marty. So we meet Marty in the airport at O'Hare at 5 o'clock
And
in the morning.
I have a new guy coming in.
And I forgot my ID at home. So came to the airport.
I'm
had
already
to-
starting to like Darren 2.0.
Thank you. Love this.
Oh, God, he's way better.
No. So Darren picks him up. We go to the airport, and I go there. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have my ID, which is a rookie move, right? And I'm like, I got to go home. And this Ubers aren't there, so I go home. Thank God there was COVID times. Go home, grab my passport, come back, get there, meet these guys like right before we board. And like Darren's like, hey, this is Marty. I'm like, oh, hey guys, how you doing?
Everybody's
Even
wearing
better.
masks.
Before we're getting ready to board, Darren goes, why is your flight leaving at 7:10? Mine's leaving at 7:20. And I go, are you fucking kidding me? And I look, and
It's
he
like
goes,
this is weird.
he goes, I'm flying into San Francisco, and you guys are flying into Denver. And I'm like, you got the itinerary. How did you book the wrong flight? Are you fucking kidding me? And he gets on the wrong flight 10 minutes.
No,
Before we
there was
did.
a reason, Ryan.
What's the reason?
It was $4 cheaper. And if their plane goes down, I'm still golfing. That's all I had to come up with.
So then, I don't know if it was the first night or the second night, one of the guys, maybe Jesse Otson, was the guy who goes, my God, you're like Darren 2.0, the better version. So Marty was no longer Marty Gallagher. He was Darren 2.0, the better version.
Smart man, that Jesse guy. Smart man.
I feel like I've lost it because the most guys are like, hey, you coming down? I'm like, yeah. Is Darren 2.0 coming? I'm like, I mean, I'm going to be there.
No, but you think about it though. He's on a different flight. I'm with 11 or 10 other guys. I'm not the most
Hazmat
like
suits everywhere.
yeah. I'm like not the most like outgoing like over the top guy.
You said it.
No. But once we got on the bus at Bend, and I was talking to I think Rob and Angela, like, hey, we're from Elmhurst. I'm like, dude, I grew up in Elmhurst, so it was like after that, it was like perfect, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it was a great time. Like Daddy D fucked it up, went on his own thing, but you know what? Like I said, there wasn't one bad person on that trip. Every trip we talked about before the camera went on. Like, there's always that one guy. Like, dude, that guy's a fucking dickhead. It didn't happen. Did not happen.
Those are the best trips.
I would guess Carl was the closest.
Yeah.
The guy that planned.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, his last name starts with the same letter, or Ivan, like the first or whatever I'm talking about.
Whatever he said, yeah.
Love you, Carl. That's great. So, how much time we got left there, Brad?
8 minutes.
No.
7 minutes.
All right. Well, what's your story, buddy? You're Carl's cousin. Where are you from originally? Let's hear it.
Story. I'm from the suburbs.
Which one?
Hinsdale Central.
Okay, I
From
went to York.
Hinsdale.
Went to York.
Oh, you
We're all
went to
good.
York?
Yeah, my
Oh,
cousins all went to
is
Hinsdale.
that a Hilltop or?
Dukes.
Are you
You're
a
right.
Dukes? Are you a Hornet?
And Carl's a
Red Devil.
Red Devil.
Red Devil.
Whoa.
no. He's
Hornet,
Hinsdale
Red
South.
Devil.
He's Hinsdale South. Yeah.
Hornet, Red Devil.
Red Devil second class.
I heard
In
that.
case you're asking.
We've been there, right? Yeah. Just kidding.
Central, great school. Great school. Used to play them in tennis all the time when I was in high school. We whooped them. Actually, me and my doubles partner whooped them. Our whole team sucked. But
You were a tennis player?
Oh, dude, all state. You kidding me?
I guess we just lost a couple followers.
Yeah, you never would have thought, but all state tennis.
How much time left?
Let me tell you about the match against Hinsdale Central.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
No, I did not.
It's a great
Was it
match.
against Hillary Green? Was it her name?
I don't know, but so our
You had,
Hinsdale
more
Central.
you had more of a badminton body. That's why I
True,
said
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You look like a
I'd
badminton
give him a
player.
pickle.
Just
Give him a
saying.
pickleball at least.
Yeah. Well, we put pickleball courts are in the club. Does Butterfield have pickleball?
Yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
Absolutely.
Oh, they do.
Carl plays all the time.
That's.
Usually
That's
what
ga-
happens when you
that-
keep
that-
getting cut from sports teams, like then like.
Oh no, I got cut from baseball. That's why I went to
You
tennis.
tennis?
There's 100% true. 100% true.
Seriously? I mean,
Yeah, I got cut from baseball. That's why I played tennis. I went to Kmart and bought a Dunlop racket.
I played badminton, so that's below pickle. That's you're not allowed to play sports after that.
Yeah, it's cute. You got a participation trophy, Carl. Thanks for trying.
Got my own racket.
Yeah. I got a couple rackets. Yeah, I restrung it last night by myself.
Oh my god.
Too good. So, Ryan, you went to Hinsdale Central from Hinsdale, I'm assuming then, or grew up there?
Grew up in Clarendon Hills. Went to Hinsdale Central.
Okay.
A couple years younger than Carl. I got not much
Yeah.
to say, but
Where you living now? Downtown or
downtown,
Where?
North Side, Wrigleyville area.
Okay. Cubs or Sox?
Sox. That's
Oh,
what we
yeah,
were.
boy.
Die hard.
We got-
Die hard.
We got a Sox guy over there too. He lives,
man.
and a boy.
I live in a building.
Opening day.
95% of the people in the building are
Of course.
Cubs fans. They
Yeah.
walk in with a Sox fan, and then you get all the
looks.
janitors, the doormen coming up to me like, "Hey, Sox fan." I'm like,
I
"Yes."
think the
There are
animosity
others.
has been gone. Like I think everybody's now like, hey, you're pro Chicago, you're cool. I don't think what it was 20 years ago when we lived in Wrigleyville as Sox fans. I don't think it's there. Like,
I think it
we're
is.
Sox fan. No, I don't think it's there anymore. I really don't. I think I was happy to see the Cubs win in 2016. I would hope Cub fans were happy us in 2005. But I'm not mad. I'm happy when the city's buzzing, when like people are out and about, they're having a good time. Like I went out for every Cubs game. Okay. I wasn't like high-fiving and cheering, but I enjoyed the city that was buzzing and our friends being happy.
The Blackhawks, the Bulls, you got the Cubs, all that stuff. Yeah. It's the Sox time. Come on, we could be honest now. It's the Sox
next
time.
couple of years.
Actually, tell me, how do you feel about Tony La Russa?
Interesting topic.
Great question.
Is it a great question?
It is a great question. I initially
Is
didn't
he
like
80
it.
years old?
He's 76,
76 years old.
Yeah.
76 years old.
I didn't like it initially, but what I heard the problem was this year, later in the season with Renteria, is he didn't hold anybody accountable for their actions. So guess what? Who's going to hold him accountable?
The Italian.
Exactly. Tony La Russa. Now he's on Twitter. He's doing
But
this whole
again,
thing.
He has a Twitter account?
He didn't have a phone. He didn't have a phone.
He had a pager, though. I heard he had a pager.
He didn't have, so like he was 9 years in the front office. Like I don't know if he didn't have a phone for 9 years, but he did not have a phone. Didn't know any of this stuff, and now he's into it. Now people are like the clubhouse isn't going to be as loose with the Russo. I go, listen, he's just his swan song. He done. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be like, hey, you guys have fun, do your thing, but if you fuck up, I'm going to make you hold you accountable for what you did. I don't know, Schiller, you're a big Sox guy. What do you think?
I love the move.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little tired of hearing about the age discrimination.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
The guy is a born winner.
When's the last time he won? Just curious. I don't follow baseball, so
I lost track after 3 World Series championships.
Wow.
But,
wow.
I mean, a younger team.
Mm-hmm.
You do need somebody to keep them in check, right? You can't let the
100%. Yeah. But you still need to let them go. And I think people are worried that he's such an old school manager that he's not going to let them like do their thing in the clubhouse. Which I think at 76, he's like, listen, I've seen it all. If this makes
baseball, like he knows how to get the guys there to show up, and he knows how to let them go ahead and have fun, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Work hard,
So
play
does
hard.
Matt
He knows
Nagy,
he
but
gets
look at
it.
us
Yeah,
now.
Jesus.
Oh, I cut deep. These guys are Bears fans.
Yeah, how much time he got on that one, right?
The La Russa thing, though, I mean, he's like we said, he's 76 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing with a bunch of Cubans,
Kids
and blah, blah, blah.
that don't speak English.
Kids. But I heard he's bilingual. Don't know where that comes from. He might speak Italian, kind of close to...
He's Mandarin, Chinese, and English. Bilingual, though. It's cool. We cool.
Probably
I'm
a
just
Democrat.
Marty, it's not 20.
Oh, it's not okay.
I thought it stopped at 26 minutes.